The only reason you make money in the market is because you create X amount of value. And value is you save money for somebody, you make money for somebody, or you save time for somebody. That's the only reason you will have a value in the market. And that happens through a skill set. Either you become better in whatever skill that you have, number one reason. The number two is you add a complementary skill on top of it. And that's once you add like a couple of complementary skills, you become manager. And that's why it takes about 3 to 4 years to become the manager, to get to that senior position. Because by that time, company is actually teaching you by default, even if you want it or don't want it. But that's happening because you're not taking everything in your hand. You're just leaving it up to the company. Okay, I'm doing X amount of tasks because this has been assigned to me, and those tasks itself, they are training you for the next role. But if you take a command in your own hand, that will decrease that 4 years, 3 years of that jump to that 1 year.
Yes, it's completely possible to achieve that 1 lakh per month mark or more in less than 1 year, where others are taking 3 years, 4 years to achieve that. And it's completely possible to do it in every industry. You see around yourself, your manager is making that much money, or his manager, her manager is making that much amount of money. So it's completely possible. We talk about these things, whether it's promotion, negotiation, getting the first job, creating resume, preparing for interviews, all of that, plus getting freelancing clients or starting your own agency in this community that we have. And we have those weekly calls where we talk about all of these things. And in this particular week, we talk about promotion from start to end, how I think about promotion and what I think is actually the right way to think about it. So yeah, I'm sharing all that information. It's complete blueprint from zero to end, everything that you need to know about promotion, right? So yeah, let's just watch it.
How to make more money while doing a job. There are only two ways. One, you switch. Another one is you get promotion. Right? There is a beautiful way how you have a conversation with your manager, with manager of the manager, or whoever is the decision making person in your company. And this is something that I have done 3 times. Out of those 3 times, I got results twice. One of the results was in ESOPs, which is much more valuable in value than the money part, right? And we can talk about these stuff. What is ESOPs, how to negotiate, what to know, like what are the benefits, etc., etc. But that is a different conversation. For now, let's just talk about how to talk about promotion, because it's going to be very, very uncomfortable conversation if this happens during the appraisal cycle, right? That should never happen. Okay, in some companies, the appraisal cycle comes in December, right? In some companies, it comes in March. Most of Indian companies, it comes in March. Okay, and that's when they get the budget to allocate in their members, in their company, or in their employees right then and there. Okay, let's say I'm a manager, and this has happened with me. Let's say I'm a manager. I get 2 lakh rupees per month extra to distribute among 10 of my team members. I'm just giving an example. How will I distribute it? I will go to each and every one of those people. I will see their reports for the last year, right? And then I will evaluate, do they deserve it? If they do, how much do they deserve it, right? It's a very common saying in the industry that, hey, whoever is winning, make way to win them more, or appreciate them so much that they win more. And this is two ways justified. One, it's very much, hey, if you're doing a good job, then you will get good pay, right? That's a common norm that everybody knows. But on the upper hand, on the second hand, it's very much this is something that employees don't think, but employers or the managers, they think on this level. If I'm getting to pay him 20,000 extra, 30,000 extra per month, or whoever is my employee, if I'm paying him 20,000 extra, will he generate 1 lakh rupees, 2 lakh rupees, 10 lakh rupees extra for me? Right? Of course, appraisal happens because like there is a like Mengai part that is happening in the market, right? All of those things are fine. This is common sense, and this is how you will also react once you become an employer. If that happens, let's say in next few coming years, this is how a general person would be reacting, right? So I'll tell you now, this has happened not with me, but somewhere in the industry that I know, not very closely, but this is a story that I know. So they had about 22 to 23 salespeople in their company. Okay. And they were making like the company was making through the salespeople, they were making about 23 lakhs a month. That's 23, like a lakh. Like if you think about it, it's like a 1 lakh per salesperson, right? But out of those 23 lakhs, 12 lakhs were generated by only two people, right? And it makes total sense to actually pay them more, not by like 10% extra, 20% extra, but actually when they got the approval from the like their managers, from the CEO part, that you need to spread out, let's say 6 lakh rupees or a percentage, sales may percentage hota hai, right? Incentive mein. So if you need to give this much extra to each and every of your team member, they have allocated like 60-70% of it to that, to those two people. And it makes total sense. Why? Because yes, they should make more money because they're generating more revenue. Secondly, they will make more money if they get appreciated enough. Otherwise, they are a good asset to the company, and they'll, if you don't appreciate, you will lose it. Once they understand their value that they're generating, and salespeople specifically, once you are like as an employee, now let's just reverse engineer this, right? As an employee, what should I think? I need to make more money for my company. Simple. That's the only reason they will pay me more, right? How can I do that? Two ways. Do the things faster, do the things better. And कोडिंग में या फिर मार्केटिंग में या फिर और भी किसी भी फील्ड में तुम उठाओ, these two things are the only ways that you can make more money, not just for yourself but for your company. Okay? And how to make more money for your company? By just understanding their business, and that will help you to understand the industry itself, right? This is something that we need to understand. This is not how we talk to the manager. Okay, yeah, I want to make more money for the like this is not but we need to understand this is the basic logic on how anybody would pay you. Like, this is something that we need. Most of the employees do not even think about this. They're like, मुझे task मिला है, मुझे task करना है, task खत्म हो गया, my work is done. They do not think why that task has been given to them. They do not think why it has happened that only this task has been given to me, why not that, why my other like colleague is getting this task, why is he a manager of me? And the answer is not always about the number of years of experience. It's not always that, right? I have worked in a so out of those four switches that I did in that 1 year, one of the company was run by a CEO who was 3 years younger to me, right? And I was just working for him, right? Of course, I had ESOPs and stuff, but the point is, like he was, I can't give you exact numbers, but let's just say he was making about 10 lakhs a month. Okay. I came in, I demanded, I need like 1 lakh rupees per month as my like compensation. In the conversation, how it went is, okay, why do you need it? Right? That's the number one. Why do you deserve? Why do you think you deserve it? And these kind of conversation only happens when you show them, okay, this is something that I can do, right? So because it's a startup and I had a leverage, how I exactly did was I created this PPT before the interview, right? And I went for the interview. Whatever questions that they ask, right? Okay, like what did you do? How did you generate that result for your previous company? How did that happen? What are the technologies that you worked in? Etc. Like जो भी interviews में होता है, right? All those things has happened. When that ended, right? I said that I've created one PPT. Would you mind if I show it to you? Which will take around 5 to 10 minutes, right? And that will be a surprise for most of the interviews that that you will ever give. Now, I had a leverage because I have been creating this sort of PPT for my clients for a while before that. What I exactly made in the PPT was, I'm here to do this job that I've applied for. If I do this way, and I have experience in this, I can generate and I can make you your revenue 2x in 3 months or 4 months. That was the exact conversation that has happened while we were looking at the PPA. Now I could actually say that directly because that was the reputation that I came up with, right? Because we were you were already talking about ESOPs, partnership, a percentage, equity, all of those, right? So I could say these things directly. But how to say these things when you're working in a company who are, let's just say, traditionally not accepting this kind of conversation, right? It's not a tradition there. How can you do that? This one of the important thing is this doesn't happen when the appraisal cycle is happening, right? This happens in the middle of it. Let's say you have started your financial year in March, somewhere in the June, July, when everything is settled down and everything is chilled out, you guys are just working in your company. You go to your manager and then you say, "Here, Mr. Ramesh, I was thinking, like, of course, jo bhi language hai, Hindi, whatever, right? But get the essence of this conversation. Hey, Mr. Ramesh, I've been thinking about how, like, how the value that we have been generating here. I would love to know, like, if I need this much percentage of appraisal next year, what are those things that I can do right now that can make me like deservable of this thing at that point?" That means you're genuinely asking, if I do this, can you give me this much money in 8 months down the line? You genuinely are. And you only do this for two reasons. One, you really love the company, like you really do. You want to stay there, you want to make an effort, or you want, it's purely selfish reasons, right? Either you're comfortable there, right? And you're getting good money, people are good, and it's all of like you're seeking that balance, right? That's number one reason. Because you want to stay. You shows them, if I'm an employer and, like, if one of my employee came to me and they just literally asked this, how would I think of my side a little bit? I would think this person genuinely liked me. This person genuinely liked the company. That's number one for sure, right? Uh, I actually, the thing is, everybody knows that people are gonna be looking forward to the appraisal. Like it's not, it's an unsaid thing, right? What I would think is this person actually like me, like working with us, and they are actually seeking out their growth factors, right? Those are the only three reasons. Now, as a person, like as a person, as an employer, I would actually tell you five things that this is something that if you do, if you learn this, or if you take care of this responsibility, that will actually help me out. Yeah. Okay. As an employer, I would think, if, okay, this person came and he wants to or she wants to take one more responsibility, that means he or she deserves more money. It's basically, right? Either you are saving time for somebody or you're saving money for somebody. Those are the only two reasons they will give you money. Switches will give you much more money than this like small thing, because the company itself, no one can have, I mean, people, there are exceptions, but you can't expect, like, if I'm earning 6 lakhs, I can earn 10 lakhs. Like that will not, that jump will not happen unless until you just blew yourself up. Like that means you're generating much more value and you know that you're generating much more value. If you are looking for that promotion in the same company, this is the genuine way of doing it. One, have a long-term vision. Do not seek the increased amount next month, or do not put it in the hands of your employer. That jo hoga, like, whatever they will decide, it's okay. Those are the two biggest mistakes that I've seen people make, and they're not even worried about it. One, they're not actively thinking about the growth throughout the year. They're just thinking about it in the last month when they're about to be promoted, when they're having that discussion. They just go to their manager when they have, and that meeting is also arranged by the manager, not the employer, like employee itself. Manager calls, let's have an appraisal meeting. That's something that happens in MNC's, bigger companies, right? Startups make this conversation even doesn't happen. They know, okay, what I'm gonna do, right? Okay. That's number one. Number two is they're one is like they're not thinking throughout the year. The number two is like it's a short-term cycle. You're just looking for money. You don't understand the reason why you are making that much amount of money. The only reason you make money in the market is because you create X amount of value. And value is you save money for somebody, you make money for somebody, save money, make money for somebody, or you save time for somebody. That's the only reason you will have a value in the market. And that happens through a skill set. Either you become better in whatever skill that you have, number one reason. The number two is you add a complementary skill on top of it. Right. And that's when you once you add like a couple of complementary skills, you become manager. And that's why it takes about 3 to 4 years to become the manager, to get to that senior position. Because by that time, company is actually teaching you by default, even if you want it or don't want it. Right? Company is just teaching. But that's happening because you're not taking everything in your hand. You're just leaving it up to the company. Okay, I'm doing X amount of tasks because this has been assigned to me. And those tasks itself, they are training you for the next role. But if you take a command in your own hand, that will decrease that 4 years, 3 years of that jump to that 1 year. And if you know, okay, if you start figuring out what will create more money, what will make myself valuable more in the company, and you become that person who's actually deserving more money inside the same company, once you become that person, either they will pay you if they need respect or whatever reason, like if they actually know the value, either they will give you or somebody else will, right? That's the end of conversation, right? Like it's just people are looking for just money. They don't understand why, how, like what is happening. And then they're like, okay, I just got 10% appraisal. And you will see this once you get to that level, or you might already know this. April, May, people get to know, like any people get to know, this is the amount of money, the amount of appraisal that they got, 5%, 10%, 15%. That's the max. That's the industry norm. Okay. And then in May, a lot of switches are happening. In June, a lot of switches are happening. Why? Because now they have got the appraisal, they're looking for the next jump. Right. So we need to think about, instead of running behind the money, yes, in short term, we need to see, hey, next month, if I do have a problem and if I have responsibilities, if I can't fulfill it, let me just get the money. But in long run, you need to just create more value in the market. And that's it. You need to be more confident. And that can only happen if you actually are creating that value. Then inside you, you're confident because you know what you're worth. Second reason that you don't yet that you're not confident enough is you don't know how to promote for yourself. Like, hey, I'm creating this much value. And those are the only two reasons, right? People lag behind. One, we need to sort the money stuff if we have a problem. Cool. We have a problem, we need to sort that. Once you sort it out, the horizon should become a little bit longer, right? वो rancho का dialogue है ना, like तुम मेहनत करो या something, you just do the stuff and the money will follow, like success will follow you. But that success to follow you, you need to also promote it. That's the only missing part there, right? We see a lot of talented people who are talented, who has worked on themselves, but they don't get that much success because they don't know how to promote their own stuff, like the value that they're creating, right? So yes, we need to be talented, and then we need to promote the talent.
All right, the video that you have just seen is a part of a community. We have those weekly calls and we talk about all of these tactics, all of those different use cases, and the things that matters to you at this current moment to achieve that 1 lakh per month mark or more. Actually, we go about till 5 lakhs per month. See, there are only three reasons why somebody is not getting paid more in the market. Number one, they don't have the skill sets. Not anybody is going to pay you for free, right? You're going to produce some value in the market, and value can only be produced by you having that skill set. Number two is they don't know how to find the right people. What is that path when they have the skill, they don't know the path to achieve that, right? So what direction should you go to? Company, which company, right? If you're looking for clients, where to look for the clients, etc., etc. The third biggest reason that I have seen in a lot of people, and to be honest, in myself as well, we are just not consistent. I'll just say it straight away, right? So just in order to be consistent, you have to just show up every day. And there is not a possibility, if you just show up every day, there is no possibility that you don't make that much amount of money. Just to solve all those 3 points, I have started this community where you'll get to know this which skill to learn, and then you follow that path to learn the skill. The number two reason is, hey, once I know the skill, what to do now, how to prepare for jobs, how to look for clients, etc., etc. And the number three reason is, you be in the community among all the people that are also pushing for that mark. So it's a group effort. Everybody's just pushing each other, everybody's sharing value to each other. So yeah, those are the three reasons. If you want to join the community, the link is in the description. I'll see you there.